All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Terry Thompson here, and I am here to provide a little bit of motivation and inspiration on this Monday night. So I hope that you had a great weekend. Hopefully, you had a great day today. And here's what I want to do. I want to network with you. I want to be able to answer some questions that you may have. But I also want to motivate and inspire you as well too from my book, Leadership Secrets Every Leader Should Know. All right, so if you don't know anything about me, once again, my name is Terry Thompson, and I am a motivational speaker. I am a published author with 5 books written. They're available on my website, terrythompson.me. They're also out on Amazon, iTunes, or iBooks. I have an audio book that's available out there on iTunes and Audible, but I have everything on my website, terrythompson.me. So I got some content on my website from my books. I've got a couple of books on my website for free, to include my audio book for free. And tonight I'm going to give you some free content from my book, Leadership Secrets Every Leader Should Know. I want to motivate, inspire you. I want to network with you. I want to get to know you a little bit. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Go ahead and ask away. All right. If you missed the live chat, but you're catching this afterwards, once again, drop me a question within the comment. Thumbs up this video, leave me a question, and I will definitely get back and I will answer any questions that you have, whether it's about leadership, whether it's about life, whether it's about business, marketing, anything. All right. Don't hesitate to ask me any questions. I will definitely get back to you and answer your questions to the best of my ability. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here's one that I like to call From Now On, and it's from my book, Leadership Secrets Every Leader Should Know. This is called From Now On. All right, so how often do you tell yourself, from now on, I'll get better. I'll do things right. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'll lose the weight. I'll change my ways, and so on and so forth. Do you ever find yourself in this from now on battle with yourself? Like, okay, well, I'm going to do this from now on, or I'm going to do that from now on. Well, maybe tomorrow I'm going to do this. Maybe next week I'm going to do that, or whatever the case may be. It's these little things that you tell yourself to try to get yourself motivated and inspired to do things. Okay, well, here's the thing. Let me ask you this. Are you one of those people who heavily procrastinates everything? You just can't get going and always making resolutions to yourself every single day. Okay, not only just on New Year's, but you're making like these resolutions, kind of like New Year's every single day. Like, from now on, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's like you're making these little promises to yourself, and then guess what? You break those promises. Okay, that really sucks when you try to make promises to yourself and you say you're going to do something and then you break those promises to yourself. All right, so look, let me tell you something. Quit playing this back and forth cat and mouse game with yourself. What you need to do is a little thing that I like to call commit and continue. Okay, commit and continue. By committing to things that you are saying to yourself that you're going to do something all the way and not take it half-heartedly. But you know what? This means absolutely nothing if you're not willing to continue to do the things you are committed to. Okay, you can't just choose to do things one day and then not the next. You can't just turn on the charm and then decide to slide back into cruise control the next. You have to commit to excellence if you are going to achieve it. Okay. Now, this starts with you having the self-discipline to get things right and continue to get it right through personal sacrifice and the determination to see things through all the way to the end without quitting on the goal, the dream, the hope, the aspirations, and ultimately without quitting on yourself and others that you are committed to. Okay. So many people have goals and so many people have dreams and so many people have aspirations. And every single day they are breaking those promises to themselves and to others. Okay. So hopefully you're not one of those people right there that, that can't commit. Hopefully you're not one of those people that tend to procrastinate heavily and you just can't get started. Okay. Which is a whole different ball of wax right there. I could talk all day long about that one right there, about failing to get started. You have to be able to commit and continue. Okay. All right. So moving right along. Well, before we get going, if you've watched this far, watched my video this far, once again, if you are new to my channel and you have not subscribed, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up, hit that bell icon so that way you get notified when I go live next time. And please, once again, leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. If you have anything that you want to ask me, anything that you want to say, I'll definitely put forth the effort and get back. I answer every single time somebody comments on a video. I comment back. I will leave you a comment. I will answer your question. I will leave a comment, even if it's just something as simple as coming back and saying, hey, wishing you all the best and continued success. Even if it's just that. Okay. Once again, I want to engage with you. I want you to engage with me, and I will engage back with you. All right. So moving right along. Here's something that I like to call take initiative. Okay, look, I'm going to tell you right now, nothing gets on my nerves more than to hear a thought or to see an idea, a product, or something else that is out there that I could have done, I could have thought of, I could have created, or at least initiated. Nothing gets on my nerves more than not taking the initiative to do something that I am fully aware of. All right, so I'm here to tell you, if you don't take the initiative to get things started, then you will never know what you could have done. And someone else is right there waiting to accomplish that thing because you know what? You didn't take action. Every single day, there are great ideas that are being thought of. Every single day, there are great ideas that are not only being thought of, but they are being accomplished because somebody is taking initiative. Somebody is taking appropriate action, and somebody is out there doing the things that they need to do in order to be successful. I hope that you are one of those people, and I really hope that you will take initiative, and I hope that you will be successful. So here's a quote right here. One of the all-time greatest quotes, and I love this quote, and it's by hockey great Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky said, I never missed a shot that I didn't take. So many people don't even take the shot. You know what I'm saying? But they want to complain about so many different things. Oh, it was the situation. Oh, it was the circumstance. Oh, the weather wasn't right. Oh, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough friends. I don't have enough, I don't have what it takes in order to accomplish something. But I'm here to tell you right now, there is nothing but air and opportunity for you to succeed every single day. Every single day, there is nothing but air and opportunity. But you know what? You have to take the shot. Like Wayne Gretzky said, I never missed a shot that I didn't take. And this is true on so many levels. If you never take the shot, or at least take the initiative to attempt to take the shot, you never know what could have been, and you will just sit around and wallow in the self-pity of what you should have and could have and would have done instead of being complete with something that you took action on. So take initiative, take action, okay? What's the worst that can happen? That you fail? Okay, great. I've failed at lots of things. I fail every single day, and I love it. I love the fact that I fail every single day because when I'm failing, I'm getting feedback. When I'm failing, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm developing. Because remember, if you read any of my books and you've heard me talk before, you know that I did something that you are not complete. You're not complete. You're not a finished product yet. You're still learning, you're still growing, you're still developing. So when you do make mistakes, remember, you're not complete yet. You are not the person that you are destined to become as of yet. You know, it doesn't take very much initiative. All you have to do is have a thought or an idea or a concept. All right. And then, more importantly, you have to take action to get the ball rolling. All right. So, if you're just now joining me once again, welcome to my live stream. My name is Terry Thompson. Let me know. Let me know where you're coming from. Leave me a comment. Drop a comment in the chat section. I can't always see who comes in here, so let me know. Leave a comment. Yep, still can't see. So I'm not quite sure who comes in and watches my live chat. But anyway, my name is Terry Thompson. I'm here providing some motivation, reading from one of my books, Leadership Secrets Every Leader Should Know. And I hope you're ready to get motivated, because that's what I'm here to do tonight. Okay, so here's one that I like to call, Are You Prepared? All right, before I go home at the end of each day, I take a moment to reflect on what has just happened throughout the day by taking a good look at all of my notes, all of my papers, on or around my desk, revisiting emails that I received during the day, and then I compile all of my findings on a new daily things to accomplish worksheet that will be used for either briefing notes to talk about in the morning for those that I lead, or to just give me things that I can take action on. It's like I'm taking inventory, so to speak, every single day. All right, you have to be prepared not only for the day, but you have to be prepared for the following day. So here's what I do every single day. All right, and the reason why I take notes at the end of the day is because I'm trying to be prepared for the next day. So let me ask you this. Have you gone into a day not fully ready, not fully prepared, and then a big moment happens first thing in the morning and you're not ready for it, and you either get embarrassed, you get your junk handed to you, okay, or you just wasn't able to take the action that was necessary. I've been unprepared many times, and each and every time that I've been unprepared, it's truly embarrassing. It really is. It says a lot about yourself, especially when you lead others and they are counting on you, and you're not prepared at the moment of impact whenever it is time for you to either lead or make a decision. Nothing sucks worse than a leader that is in charge of a lot of people and they freeze at the moment of impact and can't make a decision because they're not prepared. You have to be prepared. All right, so by doing this, what I was talking about a minute ago, by doing this, it helps me to be prepared to talk about and disperse daily duties and responsibilities to those that I lead, and it helps me manage those tasks by checking them off one by one as they are completed. By being prepared, it makes me look good, and it makes me look like I'm on top of things and ready for whatever comes my way. And it doesn't make me look like I don't know what I'm doing in front of my peers and those that I lead. Because remember, you are always on display. As a leader, you are always on display. Every single day, people are watching you. They are learning from you. They are judging you. They're taking notes. And then eventually, they're either going to be doing one of two things. They are either going to emulate what they've learned from you, or they're going to talk about you. You definitely don't want somebody to talk about you, especially in a negative way. If somebody's going to talk about you, hopefully it's in a positive way. But here's the thing that I would like. Here's the thing that I would prefer. I would much rather prefer people that emulate the positive things that I have set the example for. And nothing, I'm telling you right now, nothing thrills me more than to see somebody that I have led or somebody that I lead go out and do things that I know that they got from me, especially my children. All right, so I got 2 kids, and, it's really awesome to sit back and say, you know what, they got that from Dad. Things that they do, the things that they say, they got that from me. That's an awesome feeling. That's an amazing feeling to know that you have set an example for someone else to follow. That's a great honor to have. When someone emulates what they have learned from you, there's no greater honor, okay, than for somebody to do something that they've learned from you. Okay? All right, so kind of tying this little section up right here, here's what I highly suggest that you do. I highly suggest that you start either a things to do list or a daily list, some type of a daily things to do or a daily list of things to accomplish list or something like that. Having a list will help you get organized, stay organized, and ultimately help you be prepared for anything that may come your way either today, tomorrow, or any day. Okay, so let me grab something here. I have what I like to call I'm going to grab another one. This one's all kind of bent up here. But I have right here what is called my bottom line up front planning method. Okay, and this is something that I created for myself right here. So just to kind of show it up on the screen here just a little bit, this is my bottom line up front planning method. And it's just a little sheet that I created. All right, so what I have up top here is I have the date. Here's today's date. And then I have what is my bottom line up front for today? What is the one thing that I must do today that if I don't do that one thing, today is going to be a failure? You have to be able to identify what is your bottom line up front. What's that one thing that you must do today so that today is a success? Okay? When you lead with that bottom line up front, it sets the rest of your day up for success. All right, so on another section here, I have today's mindset focus. You have to be able to have something that you can focus on a daily basis that's positive type things. So here's what I do. I ask myself, who or what am I grateful for today and why? By identifying who or what you're grateful for and the reason why you're grateful, that really kind of sets your mind into a positive place of things. Once you can start the day with gratitude, it helps shape your attitude to have a good day. Okay. Then I go into who or what am I thankful for today and why? Okay. So not only am I showing gratitude, I'm showing thanks, and that could be anybody or anything. And then I go into what is my one word for today and why. I always like to pick a word for the day, like a theme or something that I want to accomplish. Every single day I have a particular word. Okay, here's that one word that I'm going to try to live or I'm going to try to be, know, or do today. Okay, and then I have today's opportunities. So today's opportunities consist of who is the one person I must connect with to either mentor or learn from. Every single day, I'm either trying to mentor someone, I'm trying to coach, teach, train, or mentor someone, or I want to make a phone call to somebody so that I can learn from that one person. Okay. Now, I have a few people that I learn from on a daily basis, and I've never been ashamed to learn from anybody, whether it's somebody senior to me or somebody that's junior to me. I've never been afraid to learn. Okay. So I always make sure that I identify who that one person is that I either need to coach, teach, train, or mentor, or that person that I need to learn from. And more importantly, why? Okay. Why you connect with someone or why you're going to mentor someone or put that into focus, is really important. When you get down to your why, okay, you will know what to do after that point. So many people get focused on the what that they forget the why. That's not what's important. It's why is what is important. All right. Now, my second opportunity for the day is what new skill will I learn or develop today? So every single day I'm trying to learn something. I'm trying to pick something up, whether it's a video or an audio or a book or, whatever, a blog post, I don't know, something out on the internet, I Google something. I want to learn something every single day. Okay. Every single day I want to learn something. And sometimes it's just one thing, one line. You see the books behind me. I tell you what, I had a couple of books that I read. I read one line and I didn't have to read anymore. That gave me my motivation for the day. I learned something within the first line that I read and it was enough. Okay. All right. So here's another one. What one risky action will I take today? Every single day, is filled with opportunity, and a lot of people try to play things safe. They try to be safe with their actions. There's nothing wrong in taking a risk. What is something that you're going to do that is kind of risky? Okay. If you know something and you're on the fence on something about it, you got to ask somebody. There's nothing wrong with asking somebody, but you still got to go back in and make a decision. You got to commit and continue. Like I said earlier, take that risk. What's that one thing that you're willing to take a risk on today? And is it worth it? And if it's not worth it, well, maybe you need to evaluate what your goals are, what your priorities are. All right. And then another opportunity is, how many pages did I read today? Every single day I try to read for at least 30 minutes, but I also try to read about 50 pages a day. Yes, in 30 minutes I can read 50 pages because I'm not reading word by word, letter by letter. I'm skimming. I'm looking for big points and main ideas is all that I'm looking for. So how many pages did you read today? Okay. That's an opportunity. That's a part of that growth and development. You know what I'm saying? Every leader is a reader. And the more you read, the more you know, the more you grow, and the more you can have influence and impact. All right? How many minutes did I exercise today? Every single day you need to do something, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 minute, something. You should do something every single day that's physical activity. You don't have to go run a marathon. You don't have to go lift the entire gym, but you have to do something. Okay, here's one of the things that I like to do. Every hour when I'm really trying to get into some type of physical shape. Now, I'm already in pretty good shape. Okay, but when I'm really trying to get that something extra, here's what I'll do. Every hour, on the hour, I will stop what I'm doing and do something, whether it's 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, 10 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, 20 crunches, and take a walk around the building or walk up and down the stairs or something. Every hour on the hour, do something. And guess what? If you work an 8-hour day, you have 8 opportunities to get what I like to call a mini or a miniature or a small workout in. You have 8 opportunities if you work an 8-hour day to get 8 little miniature workouts in. That's 10 minutes. That's 80 minutes. That's 80 minutes right there. That is an hour and 20 minutes throughout the day, instead of spending all an hour and 20 minutes at the gym, in which probably an hour that's talking to a friend or shuffling through your iPod or something like that. If you did a mini workout throughout the day, 8 times a day, about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you will have spent an hour and 20 minutes at the gym throughout the day. That is amazing, isn't it? That's awesome when you think of it and put it in that perspective. Okay. But how often do you go to the gym and you really don't do nothing? You get there, you procrastinate, you talk, you drink water, you look at the TV, you might get going, you might not get going, who knows? But if you stopped every hour on the hour and did a mini workout, I guarantee you that results over time will build an increment. I guarantee you, if you did 8 miniature workouts in a day, at the end of the day, you're going to be sore. Your muscles are going to get tired. You are going to feel the effects of those miniature workouts at the end of the day. I guarantee it. Guarantee you will feel the effects of those miniature workouts at the end of the day. All right. And then I have over here on the right-hand side of the page, today's schedule of things to do. I have a timer that goes from 5 a.m. all the way up to 7 p.m. And basically what I'm doing is, hey, Life with Rosie, how's everything going? Nice to see you here. Thanks for joining me here tonight. Yeah, I'm just sharing some tips and techniques from one of my books. What I'm talking about now is I'm talking about from my planning method. So I created this bottom line up front planning method here, and that's what I've been talking about here for about the last, probably about the last 7 or 8 minutes here. But really good to see you. Thanks for joining me here. All right. So I got this schedule of things to do. It helps keep me kind of organized. And I'm doing well, thank you. And then I got today's notes. I got to make sure that I take some notes throughout the day. And then I got at the end of the day, and this is where it really becomes important. We get so bent out of shape on how we start the day and then how we go throughout the day, but we don't take the time at the end of the day to reflect on how that day was. Was it a good day? Was it a bad day? Did I learn today? Did I grow today? At the end of the day, when you reflect, that's where real learning takes place. That's where real growth takes place. That's where real development takes place, is when you can reflect at the end of the day how your day was. It's this little after action review that I like to call that really gives your day an assessment. So here's some things that I ask myself at the end of the day. What is one thing that I did well today? Okay. Every single day you should be striving to do something well. What did you do well today? So, Rosie, what did you do well today? Is there something that you did well today? What did you do well today? All right. Another thing you can ask is, what is one thing that needs improvement? So did you make some mistakes throughout the day? If there's something that you made a mistake on, identify that. Say, okay, well, this is one area that I had today that I kind of need just a little bit of improvement. And then more importantly than identifying the area that needs improvement is the course of action that you're going to take that will correct that. Okay, that's where that really becomes important is not only identifying that you need improvement in something, that you made a mistake, that you had faults, something was less than perfect, but identifying that next action that you can take so that way it doesn't happen again. Okay. Then finally, what is one thing that I learned or what is one thing that I taught someone today? Remember, every single day you should strive to learn something and you should strive to teach something. So the worst thing that you can do is go through your day or go through life where you're learning things, you're growing, you're developing, you're building all this knowledge, you're building all these skills, acquiring all these life experiences, and you're not sharing them with somebody else. It's like the circle of life, so to speak. When you learn, grow, and develop, you gain that knowledge, those skills, that experience. How that circle of life continues is when you give that back to others. When you give back to others, when you teach others, when you show others, that's when that's where that continues. Okay. All right. So once again, highly suggestible that you start a daily to-do list. This list, once again, will help you stay organized, get organized, stay organized, and ultimately prepare you for what the day brings your way. Okay, here's one that I like to call build strong relationships. Okay. All right. You will be just like the company that you keep. Have you ever heard that? Okay. I know that I've heard that. And there's kind of a smart way of looking at it as well, too. If you hang around 5 broke people, you will become the 6th. If you hang around 5 dumb people, you will become the 6th dumb person. If you insert whatever here, hang around that many people, you will be just like the company that you keep. You will start to envision and believe in much of the same things, do the same things, listen to the same things, watch the same things, act the same, talk the same, walk the same, and so on and so forth of the people that you hang around the most. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that you walk or you talk or you have some little quirks or isms that are just like friends or family that you hang around with? Have you ever noticed that? I know myself, I've noticed that. I know I've even noticed that within my kids as well, too. I notice that they've picked up some of the habits that I have, because we always hang around each other. Even at work, I got some things that I pick up from some of my coworkers at work. And I know that I emulate what it is that they do. USA Blogger 2019. How's everything going this evening? I just want to give you a big thumbs up as well, too. I want to give you a big thanks for today's live. Your live stream today was absolutely amazing. All right. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to it today. I know it was a bit rough. I know you had a lot to say and everything, and some people are going to take that with, some people probably need to take what you said today with a grain of salt. And some people may interpret that differently. I don't know, but I was on point with everything that you had to say today. And and I know sometimes it's tough to be real, and that's one of the things that I highly respect about you is that you're real. You definitely don't sugarcoat anything. It's kind of like not being Willy Wonka. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit because I'm not Willy Wonka. And it's kind of funny that you was real today, and mad respect, much respect, and I definitely want to let you know that I am with you 100% on that of everything that you had to say. All right, so um, here's the bottom line up front on what I was just talking about. It's up to you to pick and choose your relationships with who you hang out with wisely so you don't end up being like someone that you don't want to become. Okay? No, you're tough. You know, one of the sayings that I have is as hard as woodpecker lips. Have you ever heard that one? It's kind of a funny little saying. Yeah, I used to tell people that was really tough, you know, really hard like that. I was like, man, that person's hard as woodpecker lips. But and believe me, I've been around a lot of tough people over the years, that's for sure. You know, some people are sensitive. You know, they will I don't even know what to say about that because not really much of a sensitive person. I can be pretty tough myself as well too. But yeah, some people need that punch in the face, so to speak. Maybe they need to get as hard as woodpecker lips, I suppose, or like you said, get some balls. That was funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was sitting in my chair laughing my ass off when you said that today. It was funny. But yeah, they get used to it. Yeah, they definitely get used to it. I know, you know, it took me a little bit of getting used to coming on here live and everything. I think I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with it, but you know, because I got a certain brand that I want to kind of create and everything. So, you know, for me, it's kind of challenging because I want to kind of stay in brand. You know, I kind of want to stay within what it is that I do within my market, within my niche, and what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. You know, and that's tough. That's really challenging. But I also understand the value of, you know, just getting on there live streaming and just, you know, just having a conversation and talking as well too. I think it gives a human element to it. You know, if you don't mind me saying that, I think it really does. I think it really kind of gives a real human element when you're able to just stand there in front of the camera and just kind of be yourself a little bit. You know, and some people will accept that, other people will not accept that. And you know, I think when you're real, I think that people will respect whenever you're real versus being fake. Oh wow, really? 25? Holy Christmas! Wow, 25. That's a lot. Well, I mean, I know some people will troll out there. Some people come in and before they even really have an opportunity to really kind of see what's, wow, 37. That's a lot. That's, man, I couldn't imagine that. But, you know, some people are trolls like that. They come in, that's the first thing they do is drop a thumbs down and then they leave. And, well, it's just best that those people be gone anyway. All right. So, moving along, yeah, I'm pretty sure that we all do. I know I have to. I've had some people leave some negative comments on my stuff as well too, and yeah, I don't really care. They can say what they want to say. I know at the end of the day, I'm right, they're right, and at the end of the day, I'm wrong and they're wrong. It's all about perspective. It's all about mindset. You know, when I was growing up, I absolutely hated most of the places that I was at. Okay, so I grew up in a military family. I spent my entire life traveling around the world. I have been around the world. I've been to a lot of different places, and I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of interesting people. And you know, it's all about perspective because when you really only kind of have one perspective and you're really kind of narrow minded, you're really not open to a lot of those possibilities that could be when you get out there. Because keep in mind, there's really no one right and there's really no one wrong way to do anything. Okay. Anything is possible depending on how you look at it, depending on the perspective, because you know, you also got to think about something. There's more than one way to do something. And a lot of people tend to misunderstand that. You know, have you ever heard the saying? Here's a saying. You know, when I was growing up, my dad had this saying, and it used to drive me nuts. It's my way or the highway. Have you ever heard that? It's my way or the highway. You know, I kind of grew up with that. And when I was growing up, it was like, man, you know, I guess I got to do things your way or it's the highway. I guess I'm going to leave. But, you know, a lot of people don't understand that there's no one way of doing things. There's multiple ways of doing the exact same thing. It's all a matter of perspective. It's all a matter of how you look at it, how you approach it. It's kind of like math. I hate math. I can't stand math with a passion. Okay. Now, I have a degree. I have a business degree. I have a bachelor's degree in business. And I waited until the end to take my math classes at the end. I absolutely hated taking math classes. But you know what? I got an A. I think I got a B. But that's what brought my GPA down to 3.8. So I graduated with honors. I graduated. I got a bachelor's degree in business. I graduated with a 3.8 GPA. And the only reason why I got a 3.8 is because I can't stand math. Okay. And there's more than one way to do math problems. Okay. And one of the arguments that I had with one of my instructors is that I got the answer, but I didn't get the answer the way that he wanted me to accomplish it. And I argued him with that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, did I get it right? Well, yeah, but you didn't learn the concept that I was trying to teach you. Well, what's more important, the right answer or the concept? We was kind of stuck between two things here on what we was trying to accomplish. He was trying to teach a concept, and I just wanted to get the flipping answer right. I got the answer right, but I took a different path to get to that right answer, and he didn't understand it. And I was like, well, I'm right. You can't argue with that. You know what I'm saying? But believe it or not, there's a lot of people that are out there that will get completely bent out of shape because you are right. But because you were right differently. Remember, different minds think differently. That's why we're all not the same. We're all different. We all have different mindsets. We all have different perspectives. We all have a different upbringing on what is right in our minds, what is right in our worlds, and the way that we do things. Because the way that I do something may be something completely different than how USA Blogger 2019 does, or how Life with Rosie does it. Okay, so it's like cooking. Okay, it's like cooking, for example. You got a piece of chicken. You know how many different ways there are to cook a piece of chicken? But you got some people that'll say that's wrong. You got some people that'll say, man, that's the best way to cook chicken. And if you don't cook it that way, then you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? But there's many styles. There's many ways in which to cook chicken. Okay. But does that make any one way more right than the other? Or does that make any other way more wrong than the other? So my point in closing with that one is that there are many different perspectives. It just depends on how you look at it. Okay. And, here's a really good quote right here. There's no the way to do things. There's a way of doing things, but there's not the way to do things. Because if there's only the way to do things, in other words, singular, then you'd really be cheating a lot of people out of many opportunities in which to achieve success differently, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. So moving right along, here's one that I like to call standing out. All right. So are you one of those people who just fits in with the crowd? Are you a follower instead of a leader? Now there's nothing wrong with being a follower. Okay, here's what I like to do. So if you don't know nothing about me, I've been a leader for 24 years. I'm actually retired. Okay, and I've transitioned on to into a different career field, but I served in one career field for over 24 years, and I've led thousands of people to success. Okay, I've motivated, inspired, led, coached, teach, trained, mentor, whatever label you want to put on it, thousands of people to personal and professional success. Okay, and there's two ways of looking at it. You are either a leader or you are the led. Now, those are also interchangeable. Not all times was I the leader. There was times where I was the led. No matter whether I was right or whether I was wrong, I knew when to kind of get into leadership mode, and I knew when to get into led mode. Okay. And sometimes it's a hard balance to get into because, so often as a leader, you really want to take charge, be in charge, and you just want to, just go at it full speed ahead. Okay. But you really have to fully understand when in charge, take charge. And when you're not, you have to learn how to take a step back and provide a supporting cast or a supporting role. It's like being in a movie. You got the main character, the main actor, the star, the stud, whatever, the hero, whatever label you want to put on it. And then you got the supporting characters or the supporting cast. Because remember, whether you're the leader or whether you're the led, ultimately it's the team that succeeds. When you let your pride and when you let your ego get into the way, it hurts the team and it makes you look immature. Okay? So you really kind of have to differentiate when it's your turn to be the leader and when it's time to be the led. I have no problem with either one. Okay, one of the things that I used to do within one of my teams years ago is I used to do what I like to call Junior Leadership Day. I used to take a step down and let my people lead me. You tell me what to do. I'm going to do everything that you tell me to do. And that's how I developed a lot of my junior leaders. I provided basically a supporting role, told them, hey, you're in charge. Everything that you want me to do today, I'm going to do what you want me to do today. But remember, everything that you do and everything that you say, okay, may come back and have repercussions. So I'm telling you, you're in charge, but be careful with how you do everything. Because if you do something positive, great. But if you do something negative, you're going to learn from it. Okay? Now, I'm not necessarily going to fault the person. I'm not going to bash them or anything like that. But if they did something that, once again, is not necessarily right, that's a teaching opportunity for me. That's where I step out of lead mode and go into leader mode and I teach. Okay, now let me take a step back and go back into lead mode. All right, continue. Continue being the leader. That's how you develop junior leaders. That's how you let them grow. That's how you let them step into themselves and be comfortable, because you know what? Whenever it's time for them to be the leader, that's not necessarily the time for them to learn how to be a leader. By the time somebody is a leader, they should already know how to be a leader. However, that doesn't mean that they stop learning and growing. It's just they should already have a basic foundation of leadership so that way they can take charge. But what I just explained is, once again, it's like you said, it's a great balance. That's how you build teams. That's a great team building exercise, and believe me, I've been in positions where I didn't really want to do what the leaders asked me to do. I didn't want to do things that I was told to do. But when you're building a team, the most important thing that you really need to understand is it's not a matter of telling people what to do or how to do it or when to do it. It's inspiring them to want to do it. Okay? Now, every single day, don't get me wrong, every single day there's things that I have to do. There's things that I need to do. There's things that I must do. But I would much rather prefer to have myself and my people want to do things than have, want, or need to do things. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. All right. So moving right along with standing out here. Are you comfortable with being the lowest person on the totem pole, constantly being told what to do by someone who you think you are better than? Okay, so what I kind of mean by that is that, believe me, I've been led by some people that I honestly I didn't think. I knew in the bottom of my heart that I was better than that person. But they're in their position. They have their title. They have their position. I'm in a supporting role. I have to be able to do that. But that doesn't mean that I sabotage that person. I support them to the best of my ability, because keep in mind, your standards are your standards. How you do anything is how you do everything, whether you're a leader or whether you're in a supporting role. Okay, remember, how you do anything is how you do everything. If you do something bad just because, somebody else is in charge, that doesn't say nothing about that person. That says something about you. Okay, that says something about your work ethics. That says something about your standards, your values, not that person. That person's looking perfectly fine, whether they know what they're doing or not. It says a lot about you. Okay. Believe me, as a leader, there's a lot of things that people will do that people will disagree with. That's great. That's fine. That's your choice. That's your right. You can disagree with anything and everything that you absolutely want to. Okay, that's fine. That's where you have a conversation. Sometimes you have to kind of flesh out that perspective in order to figure out a way forward. But at the end of the day, once that leader makes a decision, it's your job to support it, not fight it. Okay. And a lot of people don't understand that. All right. So if any of this kind of sounds like you, um, they need to get yourself some courage and start trying to figure out ways that you can stand out amongst your peers, or figure out a way that you can support your peers. And I don't mean standing out by taking extreme measures to make yourself distinctively different than your peers by doing things that draws negative attention to yourself. I mean, do things that set yourself apart from your peers in a unique fashion, that those are higher take notice and want to make you a part of their team by bringing you into their inner circle, giving you more responsibility, more authority, and so on and so forth. Because look, here's the thing. At the end of the day, when you have set, I guess, other people's, not necessarily opinions, but once you've set a standard for yourself and you do those types of things, trust me, at the end of the day, people are going to take notice and they will want you on their team. I've had people that wanted me on their team and I just couldn't be on their team. Okay. Doesn't mean that I can't really support them. All right. But hey, I got this over here. I got to focus on this right here, but I'll try to support you the best that I can. Okay. Sometimes that happens that way. All right. All right, moving right along. Here's one that I like to call, what is your reason? All right, are you one of those people who always needs a reason for doing something? You know, I've always found that very interesting. I don't need a reason to do much of anything. I know what my reasons are. Okay, there's reasons why I do things. But have you ever seen those people that just need a reason for everything on why they do, like why they do something? Okay, like kids, for example. Sometimes kids need a reason to do things. I'm not going to do that until I get that ice cream. I'm not going to clean up my room unless I get a snack or something, or I get to go outside and play. You know, what are your reasons? All right. So do you need motivation or inspiration to get things started? When you do something, are you looking for some type of a reward, compensation, or even recognition for doing something? You know, at the end of the day, we all have our reasons for wanting to do something. However, while some people need a reason to do something, some people don't need a reason at all. These people are what I like to call self-starters. So let me ask you this. Are you a self-starter? I know USA Blogger 2019. I know you are. I know you're definitely a self-starter. No, I used to be a counselor. And you know, it's funny that you mentioned lawyer. Yes, I do have experience in that. I'm not a lawyer, all right, but I do have experience in that. I have had to serve in that type of capacity in which I was representing people in which they either, they either got kicked out of the organization or they went to jail. You know, so I have served in that capacity, yes, to answer your question. So I can do lawyer speak. I don't like it, but I can do it. Yeah, it's stressful. It really is. So I had about 2 years there where I did something similar to that capacity of what you just asked me, but not directly a lawyer. All right. So the key to a successful team or organization is when there are self-starters actively engaged in new and exciting things that make things run and operate at optimum levels. All right. You really want a self-starter on your team. This is what I mean. You really kind of want to have a self-starter on your team because those are those people that are they're going to initiate, they're going to motivate, they're going to inspire, they're going to get other people to rally behind them, take action. And, anybody will follow that type of a person anywhere they go. Okay. I know I've had some people on my team. You know what? Here's something very interesting. I've even had people that I led, people that were junior to me, subordinate to me, that I would follow them anywhere. They made me better and made me want to be a better leader because I didn't want to let them down. Okay. I remember I was a part of a team one time and I had 4 people that worked for me, and they were some of the best people ever. They kept me in line. They made me want to be a better leader. They made me want to serve them. And I tried to do everything that I possibly could every single day to make sure that I provided for them and provided shelter, provided resources, provided support, provided, whatever it is that they needed. And they actually made me better. It's like the concept of iron sharpening iron. When you get iron sharpening iron, I'm telling you, some magical things tend to happen whenever you can get that. Okay, that's why you got to build a solid team. You definitely don't want to be surrounded by yes people. I can't stand those types of people. I can't stand yes people. Now there's a time for that. Okay, but you also want to make sure that you got people that can be upfront, honest, and tell you directly, if something is right, or more importantly, if something is wrong. Okay. Now I kind of know I went off on a tangent there on that one, but the key is having self-starters. The key to being a self-starter is actually being selfless, not selfish, but selfless. Okay. When you're a self-starter, the thing is that, some people are shy. Some people are looking for that person to take action. And when you're that self-starter, you kind of motivate and inspire others to take action. And sometimes all it takes is being persistent, consistent with your actions and your message to get people on board, and they'll follow you anywhere. Okay. All right. So that's right. Selfless service. So selfless service goes a long way when you think of others before you think of yourself. When you are able to serve, okay, trust me, when you give, you will get back. So many people are so worried about get that they forget to give. Remember, life is all about giving, not getting. A lot of people are selfish when it comes to that. All right, so when you focus more on the surface of, on the service of others, and that is your reason, you don't need anything else to motivate you other than the fact that you are helping someone, and that help or assistance is needed, appreciated, and ultimately is making someone else happy. Okay. Have you ever noticed that when you make other people happy, it makes you happy? I try to do that sometimes, especially when I'm out and about, like if I'm at a grocery store or something like that. If I'm at a grocery store or something like that, a lot of times I'll try to brighten up the cashier's day. And I've done that on more than one occasion, made them smile. I think I've even embarrassed a couple or two. And I tell you, one of the funniest things I ever did out in public, it was absolutely hilarious. I was at a restaurant, and this lady looked like she was having a very bad day. So I got up and walked over to the corner there, and I started staring at this picture just on the wall, right? And I was just staring at it, and this lady came over and asked if I was all right, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm all right." And she was like, "Well, can I help you with something?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, I'm staring at this picture and I can't find the woodpecker. And she stopped what she was doing, she was trying to help me find this stupid woodpecker on this. There wasn't no darn woodpecker on the picture. I was just trying to make her laugh. And so we stood there for a couple of minutes, didn't find a woodpecker and this, that, and the other. And, I made her smile and she went about her day. Well, I noticed after that point that she started having a little bit more pep in her step and started kind of walking around with a little bit more bounce, a little bit more energy and this, that, and the other. And sometimes that's all that it takes. It takes that little something to spark somebody else, to get them motivated and inspired. Remember, you have what it takes to motivate and inspire other people. And sometimes the best thing or the best way you can do that is through your actions. One of the greatest quotes that I ever heard in reference to what I'm talking about right now is that people really could care less about what you say or what you do. And I'm being honest. They could really care less about what you say or what you do. But you know what? They will always remember, and they will never forget how you made them feel. There's a lot of truth behind that right there. People could care less about what I say. People could really care less about what I do. But you know what? They will remember how I made them feel. Okay. And hopefully I've made people feel either important wanted or needed. And a lot of times that's what people want. It kind of goes back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. All right. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he's got those needs right there that when you fulfill those particular needs, that's what people want. They need those types of things. When those are not fulfilled, they'll look to try to fulfill those in other places. But when they are fulfilled, that's whenever people will do better things right there. So I always try to look at that. Even when it comes to like marketing or sales or business for that matter, when you see a need, you fill a need, and whenever you do that, people will come back to you. Yeah, first impression is the last impression. Definitely. Absolutely agree 100% on that one right there. So, but let me ask you this. Have you ever blown a first impression and had to come back and try to redeem yourself? I've done that a few times, and I've also made wrong. I'm saying that wrong. I have interpreted other people, or I've misjudged other people as well too, and had them come back and totally redeem themselves to me. So being a leader, I don't really like using the word boss, but I know that's kind of a term these days as well too. I'm a boss. I don't like using that word, but being a leader, supervisor, manager, whatever label you want to put on it, I try to stay subjective within my people. I'm saying? I always give them multiple chances, but if you make a mistake or what have you, a lot of times I try to either joke about something, like, well, you really stepped on that one, didn't you? Kind of a thing. I try to make some type of like a snarky remark or something like that, just to kind of lighten the mood a little bit. Because you get people that come in, they want to make that first impression. They come in full speed ahead, and I was like, hey, whoa there, guy, step down on the gas a little bit, put on the brakes there, and sometimes you need to tell people to do that, step on the brakes a little bit. And yeah, absolutely. Oh man, there's a great quote too. You just reminded me of something. What is that quote? There's a great quote. It's like a setback is just a setup for a comeback, I think is how it goes. Have you ever heard that one? I think that's how it goes. I can't remember exactly how that goes, but it's like a setback is a setup for a comeback, I think is how that one goes. Yeah, that's a great quote. I absolutely love that one. All right, so here's the thing. I challenge you to think of others first without any personal reason or agenda behind your actions. You will find that through this selfless service or this sacrifice, so to speak, you not only make others happy, but you will be much happier too for doing something good. All right. Oh yeah, I can definitely relate to that. There's so I'm kind of multi-cultured. As well too. So like I said earlier, I've been around the world. I've traveled to a lot of different places. I've spoken to a lot of different people. I've been around quite a bit, and it's so very interesting how different cultures, have different meaning and concept behind different things everywhere that you go. Okay, it's very interesting. How you do one thing in one place is definitely not how you do something in another place, because it could be taken as a sign of disrespect within that culture. Okay. And a lot of people don't understand that, or they don't take the time to understand that. And, remember, when you're visiting another country, that's exactly what you are. You are not only visiting, but you are also setting an example of what people judge, like Americans, for example. There's a lot of Americans that go to places and they set a bad example. There's a lot of people from other countries that go to other countries as well too, and they set a bad example. And then everybody makes those comments of, oh, there goes that people from that country again, or what have you. And and it's unfortunate, and that's just kind of the mentality that people have. It's very unfortunate. You can be a multicultural, but other people can't accept multicultural. This is why I speak straight. Yeah, exactly. Whenever you give of yourself, you kind of set the record straight. That way you kind of don't leave questions, so to speak. All right. And it's kind of funny that we're talking about that, because here's one that I like to call control your tongue. This one is called control your tongue. And I know that there are some people out there that have trouble controlling their tongue, and I'm one of them. Believe me, on this live, when I go live on here, I can assure you that I am definitively holding my tongue on most occasions on things that I can and do say normally sometimes. All right, so let me ask you this. Have you ever seen one of those people who just love to spread the word? I don't mean a positive word. I mean one of those people who take what they have heard others say and twist it into the drama that it becomes. Oh my goodness, I cannot stand that. Okay, I can't stand the drama. Can't stand it. So I highly recommend that if you don't want what you say to get misunderstood, misinterpreted, and ultimately spread around like wildfire, then you should watch what you say, and more importantly, who you say it around. Now, I'm about ready to say something, and it's going to blow your mind when you hear what I'm about ready to say. Okay? And I still can't get a lot of people to understand this concept, but it happens every single day. It happens every single day, and to this day, it still blows my mind why it still happens. And what I'm talking about is casual conversation. Casual conversation is not always so casual. Remember, you're always on the record. You're always on the record. No matter what you believe or what somebody else says, oh, come on, man, you can tell me. No, you're on the record. Control your tongue, all right? Because you never know who is, you may be telling one person, but you never know that what you're saying can be heard in the room next door. Okay, I've actually had that happen to me. I was saying something one time, and I learned my own lesson, and somebody was in the next room, and they heard me talking about it, and they got up and stormed over into the office and said, I can hear every word you're saying. I was like, well, great. Now that you're here, let's talk about it. It's kind of one of those things. It's like, well, what am I going to do? Somebody already, they already found out and heard that I was saying something. I can't back down now. So I just went right full speed ahead in that thing. But it worked out in the end. It is what it is. All right. So there's this game. All right. There's this game that we used to play that explained this extremely well. What we would do is we would start with one person, and we would whisper in the ear of that person a rather lengthy sentence, and then have that person whisper what they've just heard to the person next to them. And the whole process would repeat until it made its way around the entire room. And the last person that was told had to get up and repeat the entire sentence word for word. Have you ever done that? So I used to be a teacher. Okay, I was an instructor years ago, and that was one of the exercises I would do within my classroom. Is I would start off at one end of the classroom, and I would tell somebody something, and then I would say, you have to whisper it into the ear of the person next to you, but you can't repeat yourself. You only have to say it once, and it has to make its way around the entire classroom. And by the time it got around to the last person, okay, I want you to tell me what started over here and how it got over here. Well, anyway, what started off as like a pink and purple elephant walking into a room and said hello to everybody, over here ended up turning into like a dog jumped on top of an alligator and jumped up and down while listening to 80s music and said like, oh my goodness. I was like, dude, that's not even what I said over here. How did you take that and twist it all the way up into something all the way over here? It was hilarious. But that is an exercise in effective communication and effective listening. Okay, because keep in mind, just as important as it is to effectively communicate with someone, it's more effective or more important to listen. Okay, feel differently. And if somebody doesn't feel like they're being listened to, well, they may just move along somewhere else. Okay. All right. The one thing that you have to keep in mind, all right, is that things will not always go your way. Bottom line up front, things will just not always go your way. And it's interesting. I come to that conclusion and understanding a long time ago that everything will not always go my way. There will be things in life that will turn out a different way than you expected based off of many different circumstances and situations. There are so many variables that can be introduced into any scenario that the results will be overwhelming to try and keep up with. Okay? I'm telling you, things will not always go your way. Now, I know that we would all like to be prepared for whatever may come our way, and for the most part, if you are in sync with the things that are going on in your life, you will be able to alleviate as many problems or issues that may arise. Okay, so one of the things that I like to do every day is I like to kind of play scenario games every single day. I always like to do these little what if things, so that way I'm always prepared. If something does not go my way, what would I do in that particular situation? You kind of got to be prepared. You got to kind of go over these little things. And believe it or not, there's so many people that are out there that are not even prepared to wake up, brush their teeth, make their bed, drink a cup of water, and walk out the door, let alone do anything beyond, scratching their own behind and, licking their forehead, for lack of a better way of saying it. So things will not always go your way. All right. But whenever you kind of go through a lot of different things, you will be prepared for some of those things that can happen out there. All right. So look, there are some things that will be so completely out of your control that you will just have to be prepared to alleviate as much damage as you can before it gets completely out of hand or out of control. It's kind of like these doomsday preppers that you read and hear about. They plan and prepare for the most possible horrifying experiences that they can imagine and live their life around the concept that these things are going to go horribly wrong. I try to be. Sometimes I try to be funny sometimes. All right. They plan for the worst experiences. I mean, have you ever ran across doomsday preppers? Those people are really, really interesting to have a conversation with and this, that, and the other. They really have a whole different mindset. And, and in their mind, they are prepared, but in the mind of others, they're just crazy. All right. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to take extreme measures like the people do that are considered doomsday preppers, but you should at least role play and go through the possible scenarios to be prepared for things that may come your way. Okay. Things that may come your way. So here's a term. If you're not familiar with this term, it's called risk mitigation or mitigation of risk. Okay. When you are able to mitigate as much risk as possible, now it doesn't necessarily mean that you identify a risk and you don't take action. What that means is risk mitigation or mitigation of risk is that you identify what the risks are and what the plan of action is in order to either alleviate them, not have them happen, in other words, mitigate the risk. Okay. But you still take action. You still take appropriate action. Okay. All right. By doing this kind of role playing or this risk mitigation kind of a thing and planning, it's kind of like conducting a fire drill with your kids. All right. And your family. So that way you know what to do when a fire happens. That actually happened to me today. I was at work today and I actually had to leave the building. We had to leave the building because we had a fire drill today. So yeah, go ahead. Yeah, ask away. What's your question? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep reading while you're typing in your question here. All right, so it's kind of like a fire drill, so to speak. You prepare your kids and family for what to do if a fire happens, and then once it actually happens, you know what action to take. So kind of brainstorm some things. What are the possibilities? It's like building a business. When you build a business, okay, when you build a business, you always try to mitigate as much risk as you possibly can. That's a whole other video. I'm gonna have to go into that in another video and this, that, and the other. So the camera that I'm using, so I have a Mac. I'm using an iMac, and it's just the webcam that's on the iMac. It's attached to the computer here. However, I do have another camera. So I have a Canon. What is that? A Canon EOS Rebel T1i. That's my good camera. That's when I'm actually doing like prepared videos when I'm not live streaming here. When I actually do prepared videos, I'm either using my phone, I have an iPhone, or I'm using my Canon EOS Rebel T7i. It's a great camera. It's an absolutely amazing camera. I love that one. But anyway, all right, so here's one that I like to call, how's your day? Have you ever noticed, and this one, this one's actually kind of funny, I think. Oh, appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Um, I don't think I have any special settings on here, or anything like that. Yeah, it's just a regular thing, but I have a light. So on the other side of my computer here, I have I have a lamp system. I got the tripod with a big, huge photography studio lamp and an umbrella. So I can move the umbrella around and it can, I have 4 of them, but I only got 1 of them turned on. So I have a full studio down here. Yeah. So I actually do. I got a full studio. I got a recording studio, and I got my photography studio. So I got my white screen back behind me. I got a green screen and a black screen as well too. So I'm down here. So this is my basement. This is actually my work area down here. I got a full studio. So I got like 3 sides to this basement here where I got stuff at. Yeah, no worries at all. No, thank you for the question. It's actually a great question. I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind at all. All right, so I got to get ready to go here. It's 9:38 at night here. I got to get ready to go to bed because I get up rather early, and I think you do too as well too. I think you get up at about what, 4 or 5 in the morning. I know myself. We get up early. It fluctuates anywhere between 4 and 5 o'clock is when we get up here in the morning. All right, but I will leave you with this one. This one's kind of a long one, but I think this is a good one as well too. All right, so this is one that I like to call, how's your day? All right, and it's so interesting because everybody tends to want to ask somebody how's their day, and I think this is one that you might actually enjoy. All right, so have you ever noticed that every time you run across someone, either in passing, at the checkout counter, or within a conversation with a friend or family, that the first question that comes out of their mouth is, hey, how's your day? How's it going? All right. Usually the response is, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fair to Midland. You have to be from the South to understand fair to Midland. All right. Great. Outstanding. Fair to partly cloudy. Moderately neato, or some other positive remark, or a sarcastic negative response. Have you ever had any of those things happen? I know myself, I have. All right. And usually whenever I'm trying to be really funny, I usually say I'm fair to moderately okay, or fair to partially neato. It depends on if I'm trying to be funny or not. But I got somebody that I work with every day. I walk into our office and it brightens her day every time that I do this. But I walk into our office and I do it like in a singing mode. I'm like, hello, it's me. And I kind of do that every morning. And it's kind of funny because that really kind of makes her laugh, makes her smile. It brightens up her morning. And it kind of brightens her day, and I enjoy that. It brings me joy as well too. We just can't figure out, because she thinks it sounds like Lionel Richie. I said I'm trying to sound like Adele, and then I have no idea. All right, but I've always been intrigued by that. I really have. Whenever you ask somebody like, "Hey, how you doing? How's your day? How's everything going?" I've always been intrigued by the different types of answers or the feedback that I get, and, have you ever asked somebody like, how's your day going? Oh, it's great. They got an attitude, or, oh man, it sucks. And then they just unleash their entire day on you. I was like, oh gosh, I didn't want that, dude. It's kind of one of those things right there. It's almost as how someone's day is going will determine how the conversation is going to go. Have you ever experienced that? Like, depending on how that person's day is going, you will almost regret even asking them, how was your day? Have you ever experienced that? It's really interesting. I know that I've experienced the best of both worlds, if you want to kind of call that. I asked somebody how their day was, and it ended up leading into a great conversation. 30 minutes later, after we're done conversating, we're both smiling, walking out of our office, grabbing some coffee, and going about our business and having a great day. And at the opposite end of the spectrum, I've said, "How's your day?" And 30 minutes later, I feel like I need to go to therapy, get some counseling, and leave work for the day. It's kind of one of those things right there. But I've always found that interesting, that how someone's day is going will determine how the conversation is going to go. All right. If someone is having a good day, then the conversation is usually quick, to the point, and then done. But if someone is having a bad hair day, all right, then the conversation will go one of two ways. Bear with me on this one. All right. One, it could go the way of, you're a sympathetic ear and will listen to every word that this person has to say as they dump all their problems onto you, because you know what? You brought up the question of, how is your day going? What an asshole. You asked me how my day is going, and now I'm going to unleash the fury and dump my problems onto you. Have you ever had that happen? I find it interesting. It's like, oh gosh, how am I going to get out of this? It's kind of one of those things right there. Or two, it could cause a really awkwardly tense moment, and you try your best to get out of the conversation by either looking at your watch or creating something else that you have to do, and I have to leave this conversation right now and I got to get out of here. All right. So it's interesting. This question right here is a great conversation starter or ender, depending on how you look at it. But if you are not prepared for the person to really tell you how their day is, then I suggest that you don't use this as a conversation starter, because it could start a whole different thing than you originally intended. Usually, I veer off to my next question or conversation starter, which is, hey, what about this weather we're having? Weather. That's like a default thing next to how's your day? How's your day? Oh, it's partly cloudy. Well, speaking of the weather, I was just thinking that this weekend is going to have some great, and it kind of leads into that type of a conversation. So usually two conversation starters in the morning is, how's your day or how's the weather, which has the exact same potential for either a negative or a positive response. So you know what? I'm still kind of at odds with this, and I really kind of don't know where to go with this. I'm still kind of at odds. So I'm still wondering, is there really a better way to start a conversation? And if so, what is that way? Because I'm lost sometimes. Now, I know that there's really good ways to start conversations, and I know that there's lots of ways to look at it. Like, you can walk into somebody's office and say, hey, how you doing? And once again, that goes that way. Hey, great weather we're having. Or, some people are business up front. They walk into the office and say, hey, what about that report or that work or whatever the case may be? Those are conversation starters as well, too. Don't always like those, but, it's definitely, yeah, it depends on the mood. It really does. I've walked into a room. What the hell is going on in here? And that was my conversation starter. I've done that, done a lot worse, but I've done that also. All right. So I want to personally thank you. I know that, you and Life with Rosie stayed with me a little bit tonight. I want to thank you personally for hanging in there, interacting with me. And hopefully I provided some good quality, not only entertainment, and some funny stuff here, but hopefully I also provided some value. And that's always my intent. I always want to provide value. I always want to share some of my knowledge and my experience. I mean, my story. I don't need to go into it. That I've got over 24 years of knowledge and experience leading others to personal and professional success. And that's always my goal. I always want to be able to do that. I want to be able to share some, not only, my knowledge and experience, but I want to share some of my stories. Okay. So when I'm reading from my books, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm sharing my story. I'm sharing my life. I'm sharing the things that I have experienced, okay, whether they're positive or negative, because believe me, you can learn from positive just as much as you can learn from the negative. Okay. But the thing is you have to be open-minded to the opportunity, not only the opportunities, but the possibilities in order to learn, grow, develop into the person that you want to be. Okay. I know you do. I know you do. I know you do 100%, million percent. I know you absolutely do. And I greatly appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea how I came across Gordy Bob's and how I came across all the live streams and everything over the last month. But I'm truly thankful, truly grateful that I did. I know Gordy Bob's amazing. He networks and he connects people. In a sense, he is a leader. He's networking and he's connecting people. Okay. And that's in its rawest form. That's what leadership is. You connect. You connect people with ideas. You connect resources with people. You connect. It's all about connection. Okay. And I know that's a part of your goal as well, too. I know that's exactly what you want to do. I was listening to you today and your vision and your goal, I know for a fact is going to upset some people, but you're going to filter out who doesn't belong and who does belong. I know for a fact you're going to do that. You're going to filter who's fishing and who truly belongs. Okay. I strongly believe that. And sometimes being direct, being blunt, being upfront is the best practice and the best method that you can get. Here's the thing. Here's what I've discovered. Here's a good tip for you. And I truly applaud you for taking the action that you're taking. You know why? When you can align your goals with the actions, then other people will get behind you and support you if that's a part of their values and their vision as well, too. Okay. And that's why I strongly believe that when you say it, other people can see it, and then they'll gather together behind the goal and then take that action and achieve it. And I have without a shadow of a doubt that you are going to achieve your goals. All right. So once again, thank you for joining me. I wish you all the best and continued success. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for taking time out of your day for watching my live stream, and I will see you later. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time, okay?